We've been waiting and we've been saving with hype and a lot of anticipation for the 3rd anniversary event, and it has pooped upon us 2 new heroes as well as a new artifact. We've also had the Enable 5 as well, the 15-star with the new Enable tiers along with the skills as well. The dust have finally settled, so it is time for us to start making tier lists. So let's talk about the heroes. Play my intro. Alright team, let's take a look at our tier list. Wait a minute here. Oh yeah, I did that intentionally so I can fill it out with you guys. I don't want to just give everything off the bat. We'll do it together little by little. But before we do so, I do have a newest member to the Patreon family supporting me 24/7. His name is Oren. Let's give him a round of applause and a fist bump right at you, Oren. Bam! Thank you so much for making these little projects possible as well as keeping the channel dream alive as well. Thank you so much once again, Oren. And guys, let's talk about the PvP tier list. Now, if you followed my tier list from the past, it's been a while, right? It's been a while, but it's back. It's back to stay. And if you guys enjoy the tier list and you want some more, like you want some beginner tier list, you want a PvE tier list, you want other tier lists of other aspects of the game, then all you gotta do is hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and leave a comment below that you want it. And I will work towards it, guys. It's actually a lot of fun. And if you guys were looking more for the detailed versions of stones and artifacts, that is all coming, guys. This is just, oh man, there's so many things that are coming, guys. So just, you know, support your boy, leave a thumbs up, and leave a comment of things that you guys want to see, and I'll work towards that as well. All right, let's finally talk about the tier list. There are more rows. I've included more heroes. Of course, I don't have to call it an end game PvP tier list. Why? Because pretty much the end game are the heroes that are in tier 1.5 to God tier, pretty much in my point of view, and everything else is quite viable, even tier 2, 2.5, even the rest of the team, but you know, they become more niche. So if there are heroes that are missing, they're pretty much not in the elite shards, or pretty much they're below tier 5 as well. So let's start with the God tier, shall we? All right, so what do you guys anticipate to be in God tier? I mean, I just want to talk to you guys before. I already know what I have in my mind, but if you're thinking about Ada, right? If you're thinking about our girl Ada, you are correct, because Ada, even in E5 state, the Enable 5 state, while she didn't really scale that much, other heroes have scaled. And she is still consistent. She is very consistent even in a CC log, as long as she can do her active and the end of the round damage, the end of the round healing, boost, debuff, right? All of those things just make her so awesome. She is even worth breaking auras for. Of course, she's worth just stacking the crap out of full light as well as GVE. You want to have more of these heroes, so Ada is gonna be God tier. Boom, done, donezo. All right, she is awesome. Her basic attack, her active attack, just almost a flawless hero right now. She's like the ascended, the light, heavenly blessed Valkyrie, pretty much. All right, I mean, that's like an understatement. I feel like that is like a huge understatement, but God tier, Ada, you deserve it. You deserve the crown. Bam. All right, so what is next? No surprise, to be honest, for most players in the end game, and that is gonna be our I try not to say Amen, but it's gonna be Amen Ra. I mean, she is just so much utility and support, right? She prevents damage and she heals as well. She has CC and just healing debuff that turns healing into damage as well. It works with the Enable 5 or Enable 3, whatever healing that comes with the Enable 3 tier talent, the healing one, if you choose it. It even works against that, and she is just a hero that you can even break auras for, and there are plenty of people who are breaking auras and using her, incorporating Amen Ra, and having a lot of success. She's making your team last a little bit longer. She's making your team just more well-rounded. That cushion, the cushion that you needed. Amen Ra is like a curb or like a wall that prevents a lot of the burst heroes from pretty much bursting easily. You have to kind of build around, you know, enemies Amen Ra, like I told you about Penny's case, as well as Scary or other heroes. But if you have, of course, damage over time or passive damage, it's gonna bypass her Guardian Shadow. right? That is one of her weaknesses, but still, she is still a very strong hero. There's a lot of hidden mechanics about her shield for Asmodel's crit mark, and even for Penny, there are some hidden mechanics for her basic attack and active attack against Amun-Ra's shield, where it does not crit whatsoever, and of course, it does not trigger Penny's last passive as well, because there's no crit damage being, laid out. As for Amun-Ra, I could talk hours about her, so make sure you guys check out my videos about her. I'm also going to be talking more about the hidden mechanics behind how her Guardian Shadow shield interacts against or with heroes like Asmodel, or of course every other hero down the line as well, right? Like I said, her shield can be cracked by heroes that have max HP proportion of damage, as well as an attack percent proportion of the damage, like Aspen, Horus, Omnivore. They can bypass both layers with one active attack, and that is one of her weaknesses. But even with these weaknesses, she's still a well-deserved god tier hero for now. Alright, so let's move on to tier 0.5. Oh my goodness, I've spent way too much time on just god tier alone. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think deserve a 0.5? I've asked this to a lot of people. I've actually opened up and asked people who have built heroes, and they agree with what I have to say about Asmodel. Asmodel was a prize for the last week's Profit Order event, and there were a couple posts of people just complaining about why it being Asmodel. And believe me, Asmodel is floating between here and here, sometimes here as well, but he's gonna be a solid 0.5. He is consistent. Even if he is locked down, he's still gonna, deal out damage from his crit mark as well. His rework has made him more tankier, and his damage just way stronger as well. He is a menace, and the thing about him is that he breaks the Enable 5 tier talent Unbending Will as well. I mean, I could talk hours upon hours about Asmodel. So I'm going to dedicate an entire video about him, as you guys are excited about, and I'm excited about. So that's coming this week or this weekend very soon. So he deserves that 0.5 uncontested. Now, next up is going to be Aspen. Now, Aspen also can fall below tier 1. It's not a bad thing at all, but he hovers around here and here. That is because he can still be shut down by the heroes in tier 1 with the CC, but he has just tremendous amount of damage. These two brothers, the AA brothers, well, if you talk about the whole family, we have the A family, we have the AA girls and the AA brothers, and then combined is great synergy alone. Aspen is gonna do truckload of damage, pop in Asmodel's crit marks, especially if Asmodel is in slot 1 and under CC as well. And if you make Aspen to go a little bit slower than Asmodel, you'll see some fireworks. And Aspen, of course, when he does execute heroes, he heals for a bazillion now. I don't mean that as an understatement. So he has a lot of healing, and with the help of Amun-Ra, their tankiness has gone up as well. So tier 1, let's talk about tier 1. Yeah, so it's gonna be Dark Arthen though. The thing about Dark Arthen, I can't let her go right now. I mean, it's not a technical difficulty, but the thing about Dark Arthen though, guys, you've seen screenshots, you've seen videos of her doing like even 9 digits in PvP, like hundreds of millions of damage. Just 7-digit, like 10s and 20 million crits. I think that is far stretched, but yeah, she's gonna do like 5, 7, 10, 12 million crits in round 1 or 2. But the thing is, she can fall down as well, where she just gets CC locked or she just dies and doesn't do anything. So the only issue with DA is her consistency. She has no built-in damage reduction. She has no built-in CC immunity as well. But she still has that scary my boy in tier 3. So she has that firepower of a scary built-in. But she also has energy reduce and a steal, which grants her energy, and she also has CC built in as well. You don't have to build her for damage. You can actually build her as a reliable CC hero or 2 if you have both of them. So in that case, that is why you can kind of make her more consistent as a CC hero in tier 1, and she works once again well with these heroes, especially with Amun-Ra's shield and her ability to lock down frontline as well with her active attack. man, I'm kidding. Oh man. All right, so here we go. Next up is gonna be a Memmer. Now, not a lot of people are going into the double Mem these days because there are so many good options in Dark now, especially Amon-Ra. Aspen is appealing. DA, you guys know about DA's potential to CC or do damage. And Mem, you know, you kind of have to have deaths for him to kind of, you know, get the ball rolling. But then these guys are already doing so much work, like alone. They're enough damage alone that man, it's not a lot of front-loaded damage right now. And his utility of petrify and, you know, just those attack reduce and energy reduce. I mean, we have it all from like Amon-Ra's CC, DACC, and Horrify from Aspen. Just a lot of the utility that Mem brings, other heroes have a little bit of that. And the CC immunity, it is nice, but Mem is still a top contender, no doubt. No doubt, there are still cheese comps out there, even with Unbending Will. Mem is going to still shine right now. It's not crazy like in the old days, and I kind of welcome that. And the new artifact, the Wildfire Torch, for those that have, you know, access to it. We're talking about people who have access to it, and that is why Mem is going to be in tier 1. Now, tier 1.5, right? We have Ormus. Ormus is great, even at a E5. He's just great. And the reason why healers like Ormus and Ballerina is still able to kind of survive is because the rounds are relatively very short. And Amon-Ra is not gonna, you know, pretty much put basic attack on all of these guys or all the healers or blanket the entire enemy. That requires Amon-Ra to do basic attack in round 2 after active in round 1. And that's gonna happen again in round 3. So it's one hero per, right? So it's gonna take time. That is why Ormus still has time to shine, to give your team that cushion like Amon-Ra. Ormus is still able to do that in round 1 and 2 with his rescue mark from his last passive. And Ballerina, same thing. When she dies, she's still able to heal. She still has that attack buff, speed buff, and speed is quite important right now. I mean, like I've been saying, rounds are short, so speed, whoever goes first, is quite important. So Ballerina is still a decent support hero, but she's not what she used to be, right? She used to be up in here, but she is slowly going down a little bit. And Omnivore and Faithblade, they're not actually quite tier 2 just yet. They could be in the wrong teams, but you can make them quite work as a tier 1.5 if you build them correctly with Aspen and other GVE combos. Their burst potential is quite scary, and of course, Amon-Ra is a priest, and these heroes, they're not to be laughed at, especially Omnivore, because Omnivore's active takes out Amon-Ra's both the layers from her active. So they have the percent HP proportion as well as the attack proportion, so that shaves off both the layers of the Guardian Shadow, you know, making your team able to kind of rip her open. I don't mean that like literally, just, you know, rip the shields open and let the rest of your teammates just, you know, do damage against the opponents without healing the crap out of them. All right, and speaking of healing the crap out of them, that is why DA can fall a little bit, you know, go up and down, because DA, if there is an Amon-Ra, can potentially heal the crap out of them, you know, just tanking the opponent's team. Yeah. Anyways, let's go back into the tier, talking about tier 1.5. That's what it's gonna be. Tier 1.5 settled. So tier 2, Valentino as well as Michelle. Michelle, she's not really sought after in the light or the GVE teams, good versus evil, 3 light, 3 dark teams, because Michelle doesn't really do much. I mean, other heroes, like I said, Aspen has CC, DA has CC, and Amon-Ra has CC. Do you really need to bring stunners when stun is like one of the least appealing kind of CCs right now because of the candy bar artifact, lucky candy bar, and the utility that Michelle used to have is not really sought after right now. So Michelle is unfortunately falling down a little bit right now, and hopefully maybe she gets a rework. She kind of needs one now. I never thought that the day would come where Michelle would kind of go down in tier list, but she actually needs a little bit of rework. She needs to do a little bit more something, a little bit more damage, or, you know, just a little bit more CC or healing or something. needs to happen with her. And Valentino is going to be tier 2 for now. Of course, there is a clear differentiation between Ormus and our boy Valentino. Valentino just hasn't scaled that well in terms of going E3 to E5. Yes, he's able to still CC overload is still great, but in terms of his slot, because we only can bring 6 heroes, his damage isn't crazy. His CC, like the stun, isn't that crazy either, because like he needs to lock down Amun-Ra, but Amun-Ra pretty much, she only, like every CC on her, just she shaves it off, right, by 1 round. So basically most CC lasts 2 rounds, so Amun-Ra is just knocked out for only 1 round, and it's just not enough right now. It's just not enough. And of course Valentino can shut down other heroes like Aspen, and of course DA and even Ada and things like that. But so far it's a little bit better to have Ormus right now to help your team, you know, live an extra round, because the meta is so incredibly fast. All right, and you wondering, where's Valkyrie, where's Oberon, where's Penny, and where is Cruz as well? So we're gonna place that now. Are they gonna fall below tier 1, tier 1.5, tier 2, even God tier? Who knows? So let's talk about Valkyrie first. Alright, so Valkyrie is gonna be at tier 1. Now, get out of there, not tier 2, tier 1. Now, Valkyrie, she's been suffering a lot. You know, DH Games has released her, and since then they've always been bashing her, but still she is not a 1.5 hero. She is a tier 1 hero. She's still a decent hero. She still brings utility with the attack reduce. She still does a lot of damage that bypasses Amun-Ra's shield. She has tons of HP, and if you have an aura like, of course, Redemption aura or a full forest aura, and in that case even a full forest team with Valkyries, she is not bad at all. In Rainbow, not bad at all, and things like that. Even Redemption, she serves still in multiple roles. And my tier list is not an individual power ranking of these heroes. It is a synergy based ranking, as you guys know from the past. So if you are new to my tier list or my videos, that's how it works. It is a glued pretty much system, right? It is a team-based game, not a 1v1 fight. So I'm talking about how they rank in terms of synergy, right? And how many teams they can work in. Now, what about our boy Oberon? Where is he going to place? And he's going to place comfortably in tier 1. Now, Oberon is a CC machine. Even as a speed build with an energy artifact, he's still able to do decent amount of damage, especially the longer the rounds are. But even in short fights, he's able to dish out a lot of damage, especially if his seeds turn into twines, because he gains attack buff as well as some heal back as well. But Oberon's CC is unique. It's not a stun. It's not a freeze, so it can't be immune by the Lucky Candy bar, and it is very high chance to do so as well. Of course, it's not going to affect the heroes that are completely immune, like Mim or Michelle and things like that, but Oberon still does just a ridiculous amount of CC, and if you stack him, of course, in a full forest team or a redemption team, and because he has the synergy in multiple auras, is why he's going to be a tier 1 hero. Boom, guaranteed. Alright, next up is gonna be Cruz, and Cruz is still cruising. Oh man, I'm sorry for the Cruz. I'm so sorry for that cheesy joke, but he is still a tier 1 hero. And Cruz is gonna comfortably sit here because the rest of the Abyss team, including himself, hasn't really scaled that well with the E5 system update. And yeah, we're gonna talk about that later, but Cruz is definitely up there because of his weakened debuff from his active attack. Of course, his basic attack still heals for a butt ton because it scales off not attack, but max HP. And his last passive still stuns, which is still, you know, pretty annoying, right? And Cruz mostly right now is for that weakened debuff, and along with other heroes in combination, and that one hero is not in the list, but she'll be up there, just can do insane amount of damage as you are seeing right now. Now, as you just saw, we have to incorporate Penny, and she's gonna comfortably sit in tier 1. The reason why she can't really move up is because of her this girl right here, Amun-Ra. And Amun-Ra's pretty much Guardian Shadow is preventing most just pure burst heroes if their job is only to burst and they don't really have heavy dot mechanics or max HP mechanics, then those heroes are going to fall around here. Even the max HP heroes, they have to kind of bypass Amun-Ra's Guardian Shadow anyways. And Penny doesn't really have a lot of passive damage except for the reflection armor, which does bypass Amun-Ra's shield. But because she is a fortress hero, right, and there are only certain teams that you can fit her in, and even in those teams, she's going to be one of the slowest heroes, which pretty much means she's going to be affected by once again, guys, you have to work around Amun-Ra's shielding, right? You need to have people to strip the shield off before these big damage dealers do damage. Unless you have dedicated strippers like Aspen or Horus or Omnivore, which can take both layers off. Of course, preferably, you rather have these guys doing massive nukes though. And Penny doesn't have any like built-in defenses, damage reduce, or things like that. And she has no like CC immunity built in. She does have that dynamite armor, which is great, but she needs to do a basic. She needs to crit. So that is being prevented by Amun-Ra. But if you bring Amun-Ra into your Penny's team by breaking Aura and bringing Cruz as well and designing your team to pretty much baby the crap out of making Penny do crazy basics and active attacks as you just saw, then yes, Penny will perform. But in other cases, she may not be able to perform for the reasons I've stated above. So I think from God tier to tier 2, we are donezos. So these guys right now are pretty much the top picks in the conventional endgame meta. But these heroes down here, just because they're down here does not mean they can't be up here one day. The DH games, they promise us with more reworks as well, which I'm looking forward to. Now, Jara and Aiden, right? Let's talk about these shadow heroes. So Jara, she's not a bad hero whatsoever. She still does decent damage. She still has CC, and you need to bring a shadow hero if you're gonna do a Rainbow Aura. And if you're gonna forego Valentino and go with Penny, then you kind of need CC from somewhere, right? Especially if you're bringing Ada, and if you're bringing like Mim, or you're bringing Aspen or Amun-Ra, you don't have a lot of CCers unless you bring Oberon. And Jara can be that CC role. And of course, Emily and the Aiden cheese combo, they're still, you know, potent. They're not out of the game just yet. So as for Flame Strike, she still can do decent and crazy amount of damage, but she just needs to do her active to get her buffs rolling. Now, she doesn't really need Cthugha. She can work well with Cruz as well, but you just need a lot of setup to get that ball rolling. Like I said, if she gets CC locked, then she's not gonna do consistent amount of damage. Now let's talk about tier 3. Why is King Barton going down and down and down? Now when E3 came out, King Barton was just menacing. He did get a rework back then. I mean, not a rework, but a buff, and he did do a lot of damage alone. He could just shred the entire E3 team over time. But right now, that's the thing. Heroes from 2.5 or 3 and below. So from there and below, they need a lot of time and setup and just inconsistency. There's a lot of inconsistency. These guys need a lot of time. Like Dasmog needs his heroes or allies to do active attacks to get his skill damage wrapping up. And before that, he doesn't really hit for that much, especially if he doesn't have Cruz. But if you're gonna bring Dasmog into a Rainbow team as your dark hero, doesn't really make sense when you have better heroes for your Rainbow Aura, right? So King Barton, going back to King Barton, his damage right now at E5 is just tickle damage, and the CC against the backline, it's not that much right now, especially because of the Lucky Candy bar being so, you know, prevalent in the endgame aura, and the damage is just, like I said, just not much. Just not much. Yes, his counterattack does bypass Amun-Ra's Guardian Shadow, but it's just not enough, not quick enough as well. And Scary, same deal. He needs a lot of setup, he needs to burst, and if he can't do it because he's under CC, and that's pretty much his weakness, he doesn't have that much CC immunity, so he can pretty much get molested. And you know, there are just way better slot 1 heroes right now, and that is why Scary is kind of falling down a little bit, but we'll have to see about that. I mean, he's starting to show his age in the PvP meta. Of course, in PvE, completely different story, and PvE tier list is going to come right at you guys, like I said. And Starlight is the same deal with Scary. Needs to have, you know, just more consistent results. She can get, you know, CC chain locked and eventually not do nothing as well. And Demon Hunter is gonna be down here because her CC isn't that scary against Ada or Amin Ra. In order to bypass or go faster than Ada, she needs to use a speed artifact with a speed stone. So her damage is not going to be there. She has a snowball effect. She needs to have the enemies dying for her to do damage. Even then, she won't be doing damage because she's built for speed to counter Ada's active attack. And even so, her basic attack chance to CC is way too low. Yeah, that's why she's gonna be down here, because there are also better choices for that. I mean, Oberon can shut Ada down way better. Of course, Ada's gonna do her active, but it's just way better to just let her do her active and then have Oberon just shut her down anyways. And Groo is surprisingly in tier 3, and he can actually move up a little bit if you run the full force team, because he has that crit chance reduced and he has the attack reduced as well, which you should not laugh at. He can actually Shrek some teams with that, you know, those debuffs. And see, her days of that attack reduced and that solo huge burst is quite over, because she needs to sit in slot 1, and Asmodel is pretty much the slot 1 king right now. Sia in slot 1 needs to pretty much block and ramp up her stacks, and she needs time for that to happen. But not only that, her damage also needs time, because she only targets one hero with their basic and active attack, and right now we don't have time, and it's not a 15-round fight right now. So that is why Sia is gonna be down here. Vessa's healing, she has a lot of self-heal, right? But her heal for the team, the synergy is not really there, in contrast to heroes like Ballerina or Ormus, or of course heroes like and Ra. And Vessa, of course, she can do damage. Yes, she can heal the team as well, but she can easily be shut down as well. Her last passive to clear all the CC can proc way before it is her turn to do her basic or active attack. So if that last passive was changed so that it clears all CC or gives her an entire CC immunity for a round or two, then we'd have a different Vessa in today's tier list. And Rosa pretty much there for the buffs and debuffs, but once again competing against way too many heroes up top in the forest lineup. And Cthugha, actually Cthugha can go up and down here. Cthugha, you don't really need to bring him to counter Valks right now. There are way better ways to do it. I mean, let me tell you, there's Ada, right? There's Aspen, Asmodel's crit mark with Aspen combo, and even DA has no issues with that. Penny can, you know, kind of Shrek her, because Penny goes after the one with the highest amount of HP, which is most likely going to be Valkyrie or Ada in most scenarios, or even Aspen. And even, actually I could keep going talking about this, but pretty much Cthugha, you don't really bring him to counter Valks, and he doesn't really do a lot of damage quickly, right? And he needs to take up that slot 1 position, so he's gonna be there. It doesn't mean he's a bad hero whatsoever, all right? He just needs some love. So Sleepless, Gurk has, or Gurky, he does have that holy damage buff, and it is permanent. Last 15 rounds is great in PvE, but right now he's the slowest hero in the game, and he needs that to pretty much be applied to more than just 3 heroes from his active attack, even if he gets that off, right? It's just way too slow. And Barrier only targets against the front line. He has a lot of great utility, but once again needs a lot of ramp up, no CC immunity, no damage reduced. He has the armor steal and things like that, but just way too slow for the meta right now. Choo-choo, you gotta go fast. Corpse Demon, and you know, does no damage. That's the only problem. He can outlast, he can CC. He's great in slot 1, but once again, a lot of crazy slot 1 heroes. I could see like maybe a crazy, funny, cheese, tanky team with like 6 Corpse Demons, or maybe 5 Armor Rounds and Corpse Demon, but if you're gonna do that, might as well build something else with all that cash that you spent on those Armor Raws. Heart Watcher, the debuffs are great. It takes time to ramp up, and of course Cruz can do it faster to more heroes, and you never know when, you know, Heart Watcher is gonna be just pretty much stomped, because she can get CC locked, right? And she has no damage reduced as well. Kameth, yeah, he has that annoying Petrify to the backline, but that's about it. I mean, he doesn't do that much damage, even in E3, E4, and E5. And Dentalion, I don't want to put him in tier 4. I actually think he should be in tier 3 sometimes, but because he doesn't have that CC immunity, he does fall to tier 4, but he can do crazy amount of damage. Trust me, guys, he can do crazy damage even at E5, but he needs to be doing it freely, and he needs to pretty much go glass cannon to do so. That is why he has that tier 4 slot, the inconsistency issue. And these heroes, pretty much, they need reworks. They either have no damage reduced, they have no CC immunity, or they just do no damage, or they need snowball effects, or they need ramp up time like Sigmund. And Audio 1, you know, shut down Priest, but slow, too slow, right? And easy to shut down Audio 1 as well. Ice Blink, you know, speed is way too slow. And yeah, so guys, that's pretty much gonna wrap up the tier list for now. Now, of course, if there are any changes, the beauty is I could just go up and down, and I want to make the PvE list. I want to make a beginner's tier list as well. So once again, if you guys enjoyed the video, if you guys found this helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you have, like, if you guys want more tier lists, like beginner's tier list, or maybe you want to see like maybe like a PvE or like an Aspen dungeon tier list, that's gonna be coming as well. Maybe a pet tier list, you know what, just everything for now. You know, what's the best hero to go for in the Super Wishing Fountain? I don't know, guys. So you guys leave a comment below what you guys want to see. Make sure you guys include that word called please sometimes. Yeah. Anyways, guys, so I'll do that as well. And for the more informational, like, you have to scroll up and down pages and pages of kind of deal with like their aura or their synergy and their body rules and the artifact enable talents and their gear setup and all of that thing. I'm working on it. It's gonna take a while, and it's gonna be informational. So if you guys want to see that, you know what to do. You know what to do by now. It is coming though. That is for certain. That is for certain. I promise that with you guys, it's coming. All right, thanks so much once again for joining me and this talk. It was fun to make this tier list. I had to, oh, these icons took hours to make. Hours to hunt down the people with this, and I had to, you know, pretty much take a screenshot of it on my phone, because my phone has different resolution to my other iPhone 7, and iPhone XS Max has this resolution, and if I do it on the Android device, it's different resolution and different shine and colors. So I had to hunt down a lot of people in iOS. Thank you so much for contributing and helping me out and doing this. Some of you guys don't even realize, because I pretty much just snuck in there. But yeah, you guys are in my guild anyways, and we share all our info. But thank you guys once again for tuning in. If you guys liked it, you guys know what to do. Spread the love and share the video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys check out my other videos as well, where I have fun and not just talk about serious things. Come on. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.